Okay? That's where, from that point forward, you start to hear them discussing the idea of marriage as a metaphor for his relationship with his people, this covenant he enters into. And yet, they haven't cleared Mount Sinai in that they're in idolatry already. It would be like, Ray Vanderlaan describes it this way, I love his metaphor. It would be like somebody trying to have an affair under the hoopah.
Wow.
You know, it's like, you know, as they're taking their vows, you know, they're having a relationship with somebody else. It's like, wow, you know, I mean, that's it's very, very twisted. But here they are having. Go to Jeremiah 31 real quick. Jeremiah 31. Real quick. Most of you are familiar with this part, that it's the new covenant, but look at this though. Jeremiah 31. We'll end with this. Jeremiah 31, and look at verse 31. He says, "Behold, days are coming, says the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel, with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. My covenant which they broke, though I was a husband to them." So, God uses the marriage metaphor over and over again because at Sinai he becomes their husband. She becomes the bride. The nation of Israel does. But they falter and fail right at the time that he's making the covenant with them. And what boggles the mind is if you go back to Deuteronomy, at the very end of Deuteronomy, he says, I know that you're going to go into the land. I know that Joshua's going to lead you in the land, and you're going to fail. And then this is why our Jeremiah passage is important with relationship to covenants and oaths, because God says, I know you're going to fail. I know you're going to be idolatrous. I know you're going to go away from me. But that's okay. I'm still going to be faithful to you. That I'm going to have mercy and grace for you. That I'll still bring you back to me. I'll still be with you. He says this in Jeremiah, in that early portion there. And really, Abraham Joshua Heschel had it right. The title of his book, God in Search of Man. It's always been our God going after and searching after us and bringing us back. And coming for us and saying, I want you back. I made a covenant with my people. I want them back.
Happened in the Garden of Eden?
Yes.
Where are you, Adam?
Yeah, where are you? Adam, where are you? Cain. Hey, Cain, where's Havel? I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? God's always coming and searching for his people and asking them for that relationship back, even though he knows that in the long haul of it, we'll go astray. That's the miracle of God's grace and mercy, is that knowing we will go astray, he still pursues us. He knew before he walked down the aisle with us, to put it in that metaphor, that we would go astray. And knowing that we would go astray, he still walked down the aisle and still committed himself to us. That's incredible grace. That's amazing grace, that he would do that, knowing full well that we would go into idolatry and we would go after other gods. I'm the Lord your God, you shall have no other God before me. He wants exclusivity. And yet, knowing that that would never be the case, that we would always, through the history of the people, we would always go away from him. He still sustained a relationship. Faithful, and this is the point. Remember what we said? I keep saying this. Everything God does and everything God says is foundation and anchored in covenant. Everything is anchored in covenant. And he will keep, this is the key, he will keep his word. That's the beauty of who our God is. All right. Please join me in the Siddur.